and it appeared right around when the Norway spiral opened up.
Mm-hmm. Well, of course, I'm sure you're very familiar with Dr. Stephen Greer and the Disclosure Project. Have you had anybody on your radio show yet who's talked about that?
Well, it looks like we haven't gotten any callers yet, but I think they're still interested to hear what we're saying before they call in.
Sure, of course. Well, talking about the Disclosure Project, and it relates very much to what might be happening in the Norway sky, what might be happening with what you're describing in Russia. There are many people that I respect who really believe that disclosure of the extraterrestrial connection and relationships, and there are many extraterrestrial relationships, I believe, to our planet. There are many different species, just like we have many different species on our planet, there's many different species of extraterrestrials interested and connected to us. And those who work within the Disclosure Project, which is a wonderful organization put together by a man named Dr. Stephen Greer, believe that these ever-increasing signs in the sky, the pyramid that you're describing in Russia, the Norway photograph, or the Norway image, I'll say, that this is helping to prepare us, helping to get our planet ready for disclosure and for really the maturity that it's going to require of, okay, we are not alone. We are just one of many, many inhabited planets, and hopefully to help us raise our consciousness quickly so that we do become greater guardians and stewards of the Earth.
Yeah, I definitely know that aliens are definitely around the universe, because why would, I mean, for those who, you know, believe that there is a creator, why just create one planet and put life on it and have the entire universe empty?
Yeah, that doesn't make much sense, does it?
Yeah. So we definitely know that there is other dimensions. In fact, there's Albert Einstein, there's scientists that actually have proven and believe that there are other dimensions. And
there's definitely other dimensions. I've been fortunate to personally experience that. I've non-drug-induced, I've had non-drug-induced experiences where I've woken up in entirely different dimensions and been more awake, more alive than I am right now in terms of my consciousness being extremely heightened. So we do have that amazing experience. We do exist simultaneously in many dimensions. We are multidimensional beings. And learning how to work with that can be challenging. And when we do have an experience, like a near-death experience, or waking up in an alternate reality, it can be very confusing and very scary. But luckily, more and more people are having experiences like this, and there are support for people who are having experiences like that. And perhaps some of your listeners might fall into that category.
All right, so this is pretty interesting stuff that you're talking about.
It is interesting stuff, and it's important. And it's important for us to, when we have those experiences, when we have those profound experiences, to appreciate them, but to not get lost in them. We still need to, you know, enjoy and be effective in the three-dimensional world that we're living in, while exploring those unique paranormal experiences that might actually happen and do happen for people all the time. Have you had a profound experience like that, Brian? There must be something that has sent you on this adventure of creating your blog and your radio show and what I saw to be a very elaborate website.
Yeah, I've had a good amount of experiences. Like, there were times where I should have actually been dead, but I actually haven't. Like, one of them was my blood sugar was going really, really high when I was a little baby, and at that moment, my brain should have swelled and I should have died, and yet
Wow.
I did not.
Mm-hmm. Wow, that's an amazing thing. So that really set you on a very different life path. And how old are you now?
19.
19. Wow, good for you. You really have created something very special for an early age. I'm sure you're going to have a most amazing life and be very successful at getting a lot of input and information out to people. Good job.
Yeah. Anyways, yeah, I mean, I'm not just awakened to what's going on right now politically, but I'm also awakened spiritually, and also my mom's been, like, writing a lot of stuff as well.
Tell me more about that.
Anyways, my mom's been doing all this research into like what the ancients were trying to tell us, that they were actually trying to write a message, that they were trying to tell future generations about what happened in the past.
Mm-hmm. That makes sense to me. What are some of the cultures that she has studied?
She studied, I think, some stories about the Cherokee, the Hopi, and she's been doing research in all these tribes about how they draw these spirals. It's almost as if they saw the same thing that they saw at the Norway, that we are seeing at the Norway spiral now.
Mm. I don't know much about the Cherokee people, but I had the good fortune to study with Grandfather David, who was a Hopi Indian elder. When I studied with him until his passage, he died. He lived to be over 100 years old. He was a very wise elder who lived in Oakville, Arizona, who really made quite an impression on me. He was a very special person in my life. And there is a lot of wisdom and mystical tradition in the Hopi tradition. The Hopis on our continent and the Tibetans in Asia have a very interesting mystical link.
So, people are they're actually listening, and it looks like people are, they're interested in what we're talking about.
Well, that's wonderful. I'm glad to hear that. Are there any questions that anybody out there might have for us?
All right, I'll have to find out.
Okay. And, while you do that, I'll kind of share a thought while you check out the questions coming in.
Oh, we got a caller in. So are you ready to take it?
Yeah, absolutely.
All right, 469, you're on the line.
All right, yeah, this is Max here calling in from Dallas, Texas. How are you guys doing tonight?
We're doing good, Max. How are you doing in Dallas?
I am just wonderful. Just wanted to give you guys a shout and see how everything was going on. Just wanted to thank you both very much for the work that you do and reaching out to everyone. I think that it's so important. The work that we are striving for to try to awaken everybody to what's happening right now, not just across our country, but the actions that are taking place across the world. And I just wanted to say thank you very much.
Well, that's good to hear that. What are some of the things that you're doing in Dallas? What are you observing? What are you noticing? Are you observing an awakening consciousness in particular communities or people out there?
You know what I would like to do? It's unfortunate, but I wish that I could speak to that. What I'm actually seeing is really, and this is difficult to say, guys. You have to understand. I'm coming from a heavily Republican state, and a place where people have always predominantly, Texas has been a red state as far back as records go. And what I'm really having a problem doing right now is reaching across the people and kind of drawing a picture of where we stand right now and kind of the situation that we're looking at with, and me personally, from a political standpoint, I'm no more an anti-Obama than I am an anti-George Bush or an anti-Reagan or an anti-Clinton, if you feel me. But we're in a very transitional period where we're working from the bottom of the totem pole up, I think. And what I mean by that is, I hear you guys talking about a spiritual awakening, and